Now this is something I've never seen happen before. I put my shoes on this morning and they were still frozen. But look at the ends of them, they're actually frosting up as I've been getting my tent down. At the ends, look, can you see where it's whiter? That's actual frost forming on them. Oh my goodness, I need to start walking. Good morning. I have only just had the courage to stop and talk because it has been so cold. I've been hiking maybe 2 hours and it's still freezing. I got up this morning and I just didn't want to get on my sleeping bag. You know, when you just know that it's a super cold morning. My socks were frozen, my shoes are frozen, my water bottle had frozen up a little bit. Oh my goodness. And the sun's out, but because I've been in the trees all morning, it's not actually warming anything up. So I'm warm, but if I stop too long, I get cold. So I'm going to keep walking in a minute. But something I am not going to miss about trail is coffee. So at home, I have a coffee maker. It's not one of those electronic ones or one that use those plastic pods or anything. It's an actual one that you put on the stove. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's an espresso maker. I'll try and find out and put it in the link in the description box below so you know which one I'm talking about. But I've been dreaming about my coffee at home with the milk that I use, which is an oat milk. It's by Oatly and it's a barista version. And I've literally been craving that every single morning. Out here you have to have instant coffee because otherwise you're carrying extra stuff out. I did try little coffee bags for a while, but they weren't very good, so I've just been using those Starbucks Vias at the moment. And I kind of changed between, I think it's the French roast, the strong one, and the Colombia one, which is like a medium roast. And I'm not going to miss instant coffee because I don't like it. I like my fresh coffee at home from Coffee Beans, so I'm looking forward to that when I get back. But something I am going to miss about trail, which got me thinking yesterday quite a lot, is that feeling of accomplishment, because I went through a tough couple of days out here just recently and I'm not going to lie, it has been super hard hiking through the snow on my own. I've been on my own now for 4 whole days, not seen another person. And I'm out there at over 7,000 feet, hiking knee deep in the snow over edges. Sometimes, I'm not going to lie, I get a little bit frightened. But I can't just stop and say, oh, I don't want to do it. You know, you've got to keep going. And there's been moments on the trail where I literally just look down at my feet and think one step at a time. All it is just one little step, one foot in front of the other. And it gets me through, and sometimes it can last for hours. Sometimes it can be just a moment that's probably only a few minutes. But when I get to my tent on a night and I think about the day that I've just had sometimes, I'm like, wow, I've just done all that. I'm on my own out here. Not only am I going through terrible conditions at the moment, but I'm putting up with it. I'm putting up with the cold and I'm carrying on. I'm navigating on my own. I'm setting up my tent. I'm doing my shelter so I know how to survive. I'm making sure I know where all my water points are so I don't get dehydrated. I'm making sure I carry extra food. You know, I'm surviving, and it sounds very cliche, but it is. I'm out in the wild. I'm out here looking after myself and having to be self-reliant, and I'm doing it. I am doing it. There's so many people that probably think, you know, I couldn't do that. And I was one of them at one point. I didn't think I'd be strong enough to go through what I've gone through this last 6 months. But just days like that, when I get through it and I know that I've got everything right, I know I've got the right gear, I've got the right equipment, I'm being careful, I'm making all these sensible decisions and taking all these calculated risks and knowing what's ahead of me at all times. And I don't know, there's a feeling of I don't know, I'm kind of proud of myself for getting through it some days, because I think sometimes if I was at home, I think, oh no, I don't want to do that. I'll take the easy route. But you can't out here. You just got to keep plodding on. Obviously, if I got to a situation where it was extremely dangerous or the risks weren't, you know, in my favour, I wouldn't do it. You know, I'm not stupid, but yeah, I think that's something that I'm going to miss. I'm going to miss that having to push myself feeling, and knowing that I don't really have a choice in a lot of things, that I've just got to keep doing it regardless of how bad or horrible it feels sometimes. Yeah, I believe I'm going to carry on walking because I am getting cold already. I think I'm going to get to a lake called Summit Lake soon, so I'm looking forward to seeing that because it should be pretty, because the sun's up, the skies are blue, and there's no snow or rain at the moment, which is good. I mean, there's little patches on the ground, but that's pretty much it. So when I get there, I will show you that. I'm not quite sure why these boards are all blanketed up with plastic. It's saying that wilderness permits are required from Memorial Day through to the 31st of October. And it's not the 31st of October yet, and there's no permits here, so I'm not quite sure why it's all wrapped up ready for Christmas. Curious. This is one of my water sources today. I think it's safe to say I'm just going to hang on a bit longer and see what the next one looks like, because that looks pretty grim. You know how cold it is when all the lakes and ponds are frozen on trail. This is such an interesting little section. Either side of the trail, as I'm walking along, there's just lots of little ponds everywhere. There's one over there, you can't see it very well, but it's so nice to see something a bit different, because all I've seen recently are trees and snow. So to actually see little ponds, it's nice. And I think this time of year is probably the best, because I can imagine this being mosquito hell during summer. So I bet the hikers had a real tough time of it back then. Another tough thing on trail is when you get brain freeze just by drinking your own water. This water bottle I had from last night, and it's still got ice in it. So I've been trying to drink it, and my brain just keeps, you know, when you get that horrible feeling where you've got to go like that. So I've been getting that all morning, but I've managed to find a good little spot to get some water that's not frozen. So I can drink that without actually having too much pain. Oh my. The trials and tribulations on trail, eh? I've just got to my first proper view of Diamond Peak. I'm kind of glad I'm not having to go up there today. I think the PCT actually goes to the east of it, so I've still got another 1,000 feet to climb, and it's already covered in snow everywhere. So fingers crossed it doesn't get too bad. I've not been speaking much today. It has been quite an effort again. I've been up at over 7,000 feet hiking in the snow trying to find the trail, so it's taken it out of me quite a lot, I'm not gonna lie. And oh yes, the microspikes are back on. And now it looks like the storm's coming in. Oh my gosh, what a day this is turning out to be. It's so strange knowing I was actually walking at the base of that only about an hour or two ago. Oh, look at this, a nice shiny new sign. That's certainly brand new. There's not a little mark on it. It's so nice being below 6,000 feet. There's hardly any snow. It's just gone a little bit patchy in places, but I feel a bit more safe now. It started snowing again. It was not forecast today. I'm just so glad I'm not up there in the 7,000 foot plus mountains. Oh my gosh. I'm down at about 5,000 feet and I think I'm near a campsite, so hopefully it'll ease off in a little bit, but it has literally just poured. This path was literally brown within a few minutes ago, so I'm just not escaping this snow, am I?